for sure.
Well, that's exactly what hooked me in this short clip we're diving into today.
Right.
It's just a quick exchange from the Raid 2 trailer. You can find it on YouTube from the T-Series. And the whole thing just boils down to this question. Why such a massive, overwhelming response for something that's only mentioned as a tax case?
Yeah, that's a great question right off the bat. It definitely makes you wonder what's really going on.
Isn't it?
The very first line we hear is someone saying, Tauji, this tax case could have been resolved by just paying a fine.
Right.
Now that right there suggests this whole thing wasn't necessarily a huge explosive situation from the get-go.
Yeah.
It implies there was a much simpler way to handle it, a straightforward solution. So the question is, why wasn't that route taken?
Exactly. Why escalate things so much?
And you know, when you see this kind of deliberately bypassed simple resolution in a story, it's often a big red flag.
Like a clue.
Yeah, exactly. It hints at deeper, more complicated entanglements going on behind the scenes.
Stuff we're not seeing yet.
Exactly.
And then comes a really big question. The one that throws everything into perspective.
Okay.
Why summon the king's army for just one single government official?
Oh yeah, that's the line.
It really hits hard, doesn't it? It just throws this huge mismatch in your face.
Yeah.
One lone tax official, Pat Knight, is his name.
Right, Patney.
He's heading into a situation that requires, well, apparently, it requires this massive, almost military response.
Yeah.
So you're left wondering, what kind of person is this Dada Pai that they're going after?
Right.
Or what kind of reputation does Pat Knight have that would provoke this level of reaction from others?
Yeah, you have to wonder, is it power on one side or just a show of force on the other?
Totally.
Yeah.
And then to make things even more interesting, they dropped this line.
Oh yeah.
You had to utter his name in the morning. I wonder whose life Pat Knight might be making miserable now.
Oh, that's a good one.
It injects this element of almost superstitious fear surrounding Pat Knight, right?
Yeah.
Like he's some kind of bogeyman.
It's not your typical taxman vibe, is it?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect a tax official to inspire that kind of trepidation.
No, not at all.
So this little line really hints that Pat Knight might have a history.
Oh, yeah.
A history of some pretty aggressive or impactful actions in the past.
A reputation.
Exactly.
I like it.
Then finally we get a bit more context.
Okay.
Someone says he's conducting his 75th raid at Dada Pai's residence.
75 raids? That's a lot.
Right, 75 raids.
Yeah.
That marks Pat Knight as a very seasoned guy.
Experienced?
Yeah, definitely not his first rodeo. But the thing is, the location they mentioned Dada Pai's residence.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
It really stands out, right?
Yeah.
It tells us that Dada Pai isn't just some random guy.
Right.
His home is the center, the target of this highly experienced official's 75th raid, which implies Dada Pai holds a pretty significant position, maybe even some level of notoriety.
Yeah, makes you think.
And then to really hammer home the point, it could get this super dramatic moment.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Someone shouts glory to, and then another voice finishes with Dada Pai.
Yeah, glory to Dada Pai.
It sends chills, doesn't it? That whole cry,
Yeah.
it really underlines the power that Dada Pai seems to have.
Yeah, like he's royalty.
Totally. It's like a declaration, a proclamation.
A big announcement to everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It reinforces the idea that this is far from a normal everyday operation.
No, this is something big.
But you know, the exchange that really grabbed me, the one that got me thinking was the metaphor.
Okay, let's hear it.
One person says, "Since when did the Pandavas lay traps?" And then the reply, "I never said I am a Pandav. I am the Mahabharata."
Whoa, that's a loaded statement.
Right. Now, for anyone who maybe needs a little refresher, the Pandavas, they're generally seen as the righteous figures in the epic tale of the Mahabharata.
Right, the good guys.
Pretty much. So when they ask, since when did the Pandavas lay traps? It implies they see Pat Knight's raid as this sneaky, underhanded tactic.
Like something the good guys would never do.
Exactly. But then Dada Hai's response, that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, break that down for me.
By saying, I am not a Pandav, I am the Mahabharata.
Yeah.
He's positioning himself as something way bigger and more complex than just a simple good guy.
Yeah.
The Mahabharata isn't just a story of good versus evil. It's full of duty and conflict and fate.
Yeah, a whole epic saga.
Exactly. So Dada Hai might be suggesting that his actions, whatever they may be, are all part of this larger, unavoidable destiny.
Interesting too.
Like he's not claiming to be purely good or bad, but more like a necessary force in this grand scheme.
A force of nature almost.
Yeah, something like that.
Powerful stuff.
And that's the thing. In just these few lines from the trailer, we see a seemingly minor situation blow up.
Yeah.
It goes from what's presented as a tax issue to a confrontation with these almost mythic proportions.
Yeah, it's wild escalation.
We've got this super experienced tax official going up against someone who's clearly powerful enough to warrant a massive response. And this person, Dada High, he sees himself as embodying this whole epic scale of the Mahabharata.
That's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
What really strikes me, though, is the contrast, how differently these two sides view the situation.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And the way the tension just keeps ratcheting up. One side is saying, hey, this could have been solved easily.
Just pay the fine.
Yeah, exactly. While the other side is acting like they're in the middle of this epic battle for the ages.
Right, like it's a clash of destinies.
The trailer really makes you feel like you're entering a world where the line between a routine procedure and this major power struggle is totally blurred.
Totally. And it leaves us with so many questions.
Yeah.
Why use so much force? Why this huge response?
Yeah.
What is it about Dadapai that makes him so powerful? What's Patnaik done to inspire such fear in people? And what does it really mean when someone compares themselves to the entire Mahabharata?
These are great questions. And you know what? This all brings up something really important for everyone listening. Think about this. How often in your own life, in the world around you, do situations that seem totally simple at first glance suddenly become way more complicated?
Right.
As if they're getting tangled up in these bigger narratives with forces and perspectives you never even considered at the beginning.
Like there's this whole hidden layer.
Exactly. So when you see something that seems straightforward, a minor issue maybe, take a second to think deeper. Could this be hinting at much larger power dynamics and conflicts playing out beneath the surface?
Like the tip of the iceberg?
Exactly. You never know what might be lurking down there.
That's something to think about.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.